New loop, who dis? This week on the Hapless Heroes.
Well, how long will you be in town for?
Probably until the apocalypse.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I am your host and DM as we continue this sort of Groundhog's Day type adventure at this point. We are going to introduce this lovely cast. You know them, you love them. We're going to start from my virtual, I don't know, it's all relative. Virtual left this time. And actually, it's going to be Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Hi.
Phil as Cedric the Entertainer.
I can only take so much time warp. I mean, it's a good song and all, but over and over again, it just gets old.
Zach as Pregnart.
Hello.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Always at my service.
And John as Lord Gerald Light.
Pregnant, after we're done signing in, we'll have to get you that peanut butter cup.
Yes, please.
Dave, aka Zero, is feeling a little under the weather, but will be rejoining us soon. But he has given us his blessing to continue, and we've kind of established a little something about where Zero is going to be here. So we'll start by establishing where we are right now. You've just begun your technically third attempt, even though the first one was a very short-lived attempt.
Yeah.
Of this time loop to save the universe, as it were, or save the world, or you're saving a lot of things potentially by doing this.
Is that what we're trying to do?
I don't know. It's
I've
sort
just
of a
been-
last-ditch effort that was barely explained to you before you were thrust into it. So I guess the
I've just been
solution
fucking around
is
pretty much.
well, I can't speak for everybody.
We got a brief glimpse of Felix smashing the clocks in the heaven or whatever.
You
Yep.
sure did. Yep. There's some shit going on over there. So, there's a lot at stake. You learned a lot about what's been going on here. You've learned, you learned about Ebenezer's son, you know about Filbert. And when we last left off, had discussed a few different strategies where the group was essentially trying to make it to try to both prevent the explosion in the cafeteria from happening that had happened last time, as well as Boris seems to be on a mission to secure a student disguise to potentially pursue the he's all that angle or some other angle where subterfuge and a disguise would be required for her to look like a student.
Gerald's goal.
Prioritize an apocalypse carol. I kind of want to make that happen.
Gerald's goal
listen,
this time around is to try to get as far as we can without getting them all against us. Because the only reason we didn't get to watch the apocalypse happen last time was because the guards didn't trust us at all. So if we can manage to kind of take the better parts of last time and incorporate them with not getting ourselves in trouble. But our party's not good at that. So.
What I'm going to say though is now Mildred Scuttlebute, one of the lead professors at school who was had signed you in last time, right, and given you the access key runes you needed to be able to traverse some of the floors as guests, has seen you again in the hallway and has been beckoned you to come with her to get your passes. Pregnart charmed her with his profound apology and
Damn
so
straight
they're
I did.
like besties. She has a tremendous amount of respect for this stranger that she's just met that looks like a frog. And Zero, as he is, walking with you all down the hallway, there must be some sort of, as we had described, there's a bunch of classrooms and offices and things like that as you kind of pass by in this like circular sort of hall that, goes all the way around the circumference of this tower. One of the classroom doors is open, and you don't remember this one from last time, but some sort of force appears to suck Zero straight into the door, and you can see that his body is like almost propped up against like this large metal like object, like a magnet almost, and he's just like stuck to it. And now several professors have like thrown some papers up in the air, and they're just like looking puzzled and like very inquisitively at Zero, and they seem to be very interested in like what he is composed of as sort of this living thing that obviously is magnetic.
They weren't
So he's a
expecting
bit
a metal
indisposed.
man to walk past their giant magnet.
I've combined both ideas that Dave gave us and that all of you gave us, the cast, gave me for what Zero could be doing right now, and there it is. That's how we're going to conveniently explain his absence for the next episode or so. So we're left with Jarrell being sort of the voice of reason for the group, Quinn being...
Quinn.
Just don't tell everyone you're a pirate, Quinn.
Yeah, that didn't go over so well last time, if you recall. So we have Jarrell, Hedrick, Quinn, and Pregnart following Mildred. Boris was instructed to go find a clean set of robes because hers were stained because she had pulled them out of the dirty laundry bin, and that's where we are now. So
this is like a Scooby-Doo moment where like he was behind us and just got like none of us noticed.
You all noticed.
Okay.
But Zero is already trying to talk his way out of the situation, and him being the astute, I guess, like quasi-intellectual, or like just like like this being of like data and like and like what I mean, like he's like a machine man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who he's going to get along great. He's a scientist. They're going to get along great with each other. Like he'll be fine. He'll be able to work his way out of that at some point.
If anything,
Although,
he'll make
he may
more
miss
friends.
some social cues. That's true. And we all know I think that the theme or the goal for this particular run through was to garner goodwill versus not like making enemies of your potential allies for saving the world. So I'd like to start with Boris, because like you and the rest of the party are following Mildred to her office. She's going to get you signed in like she did last time, get you your access key runes, give you your guest access to the floors that you're allowed to be on as dignitaries of of Dr. Hines. What I will say though, I guess before we completely cut to Boris, we need to account for the goldfish, which Zero was in possession of. The thing is, when you reset, that goldfish is just, I think that I forgot to mention this last time, so I kind of want to just establish this now. The goldfish is put back onto the table. Like whenever you reset, that goldfish is back in the bowl on the table in the office.
Okay.
So, which one of you wants to be responsible for the goldfish this time?
I think it'd be best if Jarrell were in charge
I see
of the
Boris
goldfish.
raising her hand, and I even though I am not allowed to have an opinion on this, I really don't think that's the greatest idea.
No, it went
I didn't
horribly
even
not
say it out
right.
loud.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I have the
Again,
safest
my opinion
words with
means
the least
nothing.
safe hands.
Right. My opinion means nothing,
Hmm.
but it should be noted.
Make a roll initiative to see who would have grabbed it first.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I was like, no, I don't want to make a contest out of this.
Yeah.
We really should just give it to somebody so that we know who has the goldfish. Okay. The group is following Mildred. Jarrell, you have the goldfish in your possession, which I guess like how are you carrying it with you? Just so I know.
Honestly, there's not a whole lot of hiding spots outside of like Jarl's bag, and it's not a safe place to put a goldfish, so he's probably just carrying it.
Perfect. We're going to address that then.
Okay.
as we enter into Mildred's office, because I think a man in a full suit of armor carrying a goldfish in a bowl is, I don't know, a little not something that I would be considering commonplace. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
But first, Boris, you are now separate from the group. They're about to go get their access cards, essentially, right, to be able to move about this place. How are you going to get one of those?
Easily.
Student Boris.
Where I am right now, so I'm with Richard the laundry boy, right?
Yes.
And
We named him Richard? Okay.
Yes, I have it noted. Richard the laundry boy from
Very
last
fond
time.
of this name.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he's a very important NPC, obviously.
hmm And his giant bin of clothes, right, that I had rooted through. Is there anybody else around?
Yes.
Damn it.
Like a lot of people.
Okay.
There's classes happening. There's people
so
in motion.
If
there's
there's classes happening, people should be in the class.
Well, people are moving to and from classes. Like there's staggered schedules. There's always.
You're not just gonna mug
always
this kid and
people
throw him down the
involved.
laundry chute, are you?
The fact that John was able to predict what your actual plan was. Yeah, no, I don't think that would be a very difficult thing to do inconspicuously, given your current surroundings. There are hall, and on top of students, there are hall monitors that are constantly watching what's going on. You can even see Mildred signal to one of them to like watch her area while she takes these guests of Dr. Hines to her office.
Okay, well, since Boris, would have noticed all of this with her crazy high perception, she does for a moment briefly consider just taking out Richard, throwing him into the pile of laundry, and stealing his access card, but instead chooses to ask Richard, hey, where do I get one of these new uniforms? I'm all turned around in here.
Oh, you don't typically take classes on this floor? Hey, yeah, I haven't seen you around here before. You a new student?
Yeah, I just started here. I have no idea where I'm going. I've been here for like an hour and spilt stuff all over myself.
Wow, that's a rough first day, huh?
Sure is.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you just got to go down to, hold on, let me just make sure I name a floor that I don't have something currently assigned for. So I would
Weird
take
floor.
notes, everybody. No, that's Splash Lagoon.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, we got laundry in the first basement floor, but I mean, I have a couple spare robes in my locker if you wanted one.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much, Richard. And I give him a hug.
So now Richard looks definitely like he's a scrawny kid. He looks slightly socially awkward, and so he just kind of he like squeezes his shoulders together, right? Like he doesn't and then he just kind of like puts his arms out like very rigidly and just kind of puts them like above your hips, like, and just like kind of pats you like he's not a hugger.
Perfect. I check his pocket for his access card.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
Can she fail these?
27.
No.
Yeah, you find his access card.
Perfect.
Okay. And then he, walks you to, he's like, thanks. Follow me. He kind of walks you down the hall to where his locker is. And yeah, you can see that he's got a couple hanging up all nice. They're a little he's taller than you, so they're going to be a little long. He's like, I'm sorry, it's not a perfect fit, but it's probably easy. There's a, restrooms and over there if you wanted to go change in private. Because I don't think you want to do that here in the hall.
No, that probably wouldn't be wise. Thank you so much again, Richard. You've been a great help.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was your name?
Sally.
Sally? I hope we see each other again, Sally.
I hope so too, Richard.
And he
And I
bids you
offer
farewell and
the
hands you a
locker.
uniform.
He's lucky he didn't get stabbed.
Okay. Boris, you have your uniform. You
Mhm.
have an access card. We're gonna just switch to the office for a second. So
We're
Mildred
going
takes
with
you.
Mildred Scoodleboot.
You are with Mildred Scuttlebute. And, she brings you into her office just like last time, has you take a seat. And she's like, okay, just, a couple of questions. Also, what's with if you don't mind me asking, is there a significance to the fish? Seems kind of an awkward thing to be carrying around.
Yes. We haven't really seen much of Dr. Hines. This was intended to be a gift for him. He seems to enjoy the goldfish. But we haven't seen him in a little bit. I'm just holding on to it for him. I wasn't sure where he wanted it. His office is a mess.
Yes, that it is. We actually just don't even bother sending the cleaning staff up there anymore. It's his workspace. And we just all tend to steer clear of it. He's a brilliant mind, that brilliant mind sometimes comes with certain collateral damage that we just don't want to expose any of our faculty or students to. Again, brilliant mind, though.
Compliment sandwich.
Anyways, so the purpose of your visit, you said you are dignitaries or guests or something of Dr. Hines. So, where did you come from? You must have traveled very far. I've never met anyone like your esteemed frog. How may I address you?
I'm pregnant.
Pregnant? What an interesting name.
Yeah. I like you. We're best friends now, yeah?
I don't have many friends, so yeah, I would be happy to call you a friend. You are
want to
very
go get
sweet.
the pie sometime together? I know a really good pie place. It's close.
He does too.
She seems like just taken aback for a moment by just like your kindness, right, and your willingness to like hang out. She's like, well, I'm a very busy lady. I work a lot. I love
I
my
don't know, it
job. I
seems
love
like you
being
can
here,
hang.
but that's so sweet of you to say. Is that something that the kids are saying?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Wow,
say I'm not really a kid. I don't really know how old I am, though. But I say it. I can hang. And
Oh, well,
I
yes,
think
maybe.
you seem like you can hang, too.
How long will you be in town for?
Probably until the apocalypse.
He means 3 days. He certainly means 3 days.
I don't know if you
Delightful.
could hear the gears churning in my head, but I feel like I was trying to really just think through Pregnard's brain lens.
Yeah,
And-
no, that,
That's what came out.
yep.
I mean, I don't think Fran expected the answer because the question is very, normal.
How long will you be in town for? Oh, just until the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Till the
until
end of
apocalypse
time.
happens.
And then we'll have to go. We'll have to be going then.
she just stops. I'm sorry. Did you just say apocalypse?
Again, Jarrell's butting in with it. He means 3 days. He sometimes gets confused on,
Oh,
leaving
is that a
places.
different way of? Is that does that mean something is he? I don't mean to assume. If he speaks a different language, maybe there's just something that's getting lost in translation.
There
'Cause
is
apocalypse
certainly-
means a very different thing,
Yeah, there's certainly some translational issues we've had with our friend here. Yeah.
Do we need a peanut butter cup now?
No, we're going to get you one of those, though. Don't worry.
Oh, peanut butter cup.
Yes, he's
Yeah,
very fond of
sometimes
them.
if I screw up, we have to have a peanut butter cup.
That's
Reinforcement.
An
Anyway, I am Lord
an interesting
Jarrell.
custom. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, and the rest of you, Lord Jarrell.
Yes,
From
yes.
where do you hail?
From the land of High Rock. Yes. We are here specifically because Dr. Hines wanted to show off the wonders of this tower, and we'd never been here before.
We have dignitaries from High Rock come every so often. We don't necessarily get along with some of the church-going types. They find some of the teachings and experiments we do at this school to be aberrant, however.
You see, I am quite the healer, so I do enjoy learning new skills here and there.
Well, we appreciate your open mind. We hope that you'll stay here and, we'll bring you good things to take back with you to High Rock. Hopefully, you can explain to them the good work that we're doing here in Ul.
Certainly.
You two. I'm so sorry. We have not made acquaintances. I've been so smitten with our esteemed guest here. I must apologize.
I
It's
am.
okay, Mildred.
How did you know my name?
Didn't you tell us?
She did not.
I know she did not.
Oopsies.
Make me a perception check, Pregnart.
That's gonna be a 4.
Jarrell, make me a perception check. Actually, you know what? Just everybody. Everybody make like the four.
Everybody
of
in
you.
the room.
Yeah. Everybody in the room. I'm going to give everybody a chance here to potentially take some fluff here.
Save my frog ass.
Use your nat or your lucky feet if you have to.
Do I want to though? Do I want to waste it on this?
You might.
30-20.
Ooh.
What'd you get, Phil?
30-20. I had 18
Okay.
plus 2.
A dirty 20. I like that. I've never heard it described as a dirty 20 before. That's nice. An unnatural 20.
I did get a nat 1.
Okay, perfect. So you're not even paying attention at all, Quinn, because you have no one said your name yet. So as far as you're concerned, this conversation has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hedrick, you happen to notice that on her desk is a nameplate that does say Professor Mildred Scutelbutte.
Professional, you'll have to excuse my friend here. I know it might sound strange that we have come to you from High Rock, but I assure you our alliance is there, and our studies that we pursue here are purely academic. In fact, my friend Pregnart here is quite a powerful user of magic, and sometimes his telepathy and sort of ways of the mind can get the better of him. I find it remarkable individual, but
Yeah, I'm very observant.
Well, we are.
it's like one eye
I'm
points one way and
remarkable.
one eye points the other way.
I'm sorry. We're all friends here, but I should advise you that the use of magic on school grounds, especially when it comes to telepathy and mind reading and anything that could be an invasion of another's privacy, is strictly forbidden, unless unless it's for some of the. There are certain exceptions that can be made by faculty and staff, but those are very rare exceptions, and we do not exercise those powers unless they are absolutely necessary.
I'm really sorry. I just thought I had met you before.
Oh. Well, I appreciate that, but yes, please refrain from any further telepathy and invasion of people's privacy. Just in general, and I think that's just good advice.
Okay.
Rest assured, we'll keep a close eye on him.
Yes. Well, we have our public library, and the atrium on the first floor that has, if you're into literature or things of the arcane arts and other publications that are made to the public. However, on the second floor we have our private collections where some of our more esteemed guests are allowed to visit. So
Where can we get something to eat?
Oh, well, there's cafeterias on every fifth floor.
We want to
you
go
know,
to the
just,
good one. Where's the good cafeteria?
I assure you,
has,
they're all
like,
the same.
really good cooks in the kitchen.
Well,
and he
all of
kind
the
of looks
culinary.
at Jarrell and he winks. He winks at him. As if to say, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Jarrell doesn't need us to be saying it out loud, though.
As if to say, he winks at
I
Jarrell.
get it. I get it. I'm sure she did not see the wink from the giant frog eye.
Wink, wink. I need to get the food.
We will get you that peanut butter cup just as soon as we've
I want
finished
to have a
signing in.
special cake with a special message on it.
We can do that as well.
Yes, I assure you, the culinary professionals we have here at the school and the students that they are assisting them will be able to make anything that you can dream up within reason.
Mildred, just one more thing. Would it be possible, could we get sort of a guide of the different floors of this tower? We recognize there's many floors of access and not access, but just curious, everything you guys do here is just so incredible. Each floor.
Well, I mean, that depends. Yeah, I mean, if you're just here to see Dr. Hines or be his guest, is there any subjects that fascinate you? Is there anything that, you are looking to any public, lessons you may want to sit in on? Unfortunately, most of our public lessons that are open to the public are reserved for the weekend, which, actually, I look at my calendar. That's tomorrow.
What about music studies?
We do have a Bard College. We actually have multiple branches of Bard Colleges here, yes. Those would be... Well, they're condensed between the 11th and 12th floors.
I'm sure we can find our way around for the time being. We will be certain to ask if there's anywhere in particular we would like to go. Also, wasn't today Wednesday? Because tomorrow we invent Thursday brunch.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just retake that. But looks like it's in 2 days.
Well, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Mildred.
You're very welcome. Let me just get these passes for you. So I guess these will give you access to, our public floors. There's also, a splash lagoon on the 3rd floor, if that's something that tickles your fancy.
Yeah, we love the Splash Lagoon.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been written in many travel guides for. Well, we're very proud of it as well. And some of our best
yeah.
water shapers have really
We've-
done just a fantastic job. The public loves it.
We've read about it.
And then he winks at Jarrell again.
Oh, I love this so much.
Does she give us each a pass? Or do we just get one pass?
She gives 1 to Pregnart, just like she gave 1 to 0.
Jarrell will ask, is there any way we could have more than one pass, just in case we get separated or anything like that?
Yeah, I think we probably need more than one, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just assumed you'd be traveling as a group.
Mostly we
okay,
will,
sure.
of course. But I
Just
think
make sure you return these before you leave. Do not give them directly to Dr. Hines. We may never see them again. And she hands you each then. She does a little incantation and hands you each a key rune.
Are we expected to wear the robes throughout the building? Everyone else is. Is it okay if we're dressed like this?
Yes, I mean, you may draw some attention, but just, here. And she hands you little tags you can stick to your clothes. They say visitor.
Right.
If this makes you feel more comfortable, just. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else I can assist you with?
No, thank you. We should hurry off to get a peanut butter cup for our pregnant friend.
Yeah. We need
Well,
a
that's-
special cake with a special message on it.
Well, you know where my office is. We're right up here on the 25th floor. Please come see me anytime. And please do tell Dr. Hines. Well, no, I'll just tell him when I see him next. Have a good day.
Jarrell takes the
Bye.
goldfish bowl and I think we kind of fast walk to the teleporter. As we're going, Jarrell will turn to Hedrick. Which floor was the explosion on? And he whispers that to Hedrick.
Let me check the logs of my memory real quick. Yeah, I think it was the 15th floor, Jarrell.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, we should be able to get there just in time, since we're not stopping in Ebenezer's office first. Or deliberating in the hallway for 20 minutes. Yeah. What kind of colors are you thinking, Pregnart? Let's brainstorm this thing on the way.
Yeah, so this conversation is happening. We're gonna cut the camera over to Boris. So Boris, you have fresh pair of robes. You have Richard's key rune. I'm assuming you're probably trying to shuffle away before he realizes anything's missing.
Yeah, I think we had left off with me having already gone to the locker room and
Yeah, you're like you
changing.
changed.
Like I was
right,
already
yeah.
changing in there. Yeah.
So-
So, cutting back to Boris, you're seeing the elevator doors or the teleporting beam, however that works, closing on Boris after
just-
her
yeah,
pressing the 15 button.
Well, not like that. It's you. Step,
You just think
step,
15.
You just step into this teleportation circle and think of the floor you want to go to, and then you go there. Okay, so Boris is like, we're gonna say that Boris arrives at the 15th floor first.
She
All right,
beelines
I mean,
there.
It's like any other floor, Boris. Like this was but this was if you recall, the School of Evocation. So a lot of the classes being taught here are to help teach you how to harness like the elements and things like that to essentially evoke magic in a way that could either destroy things or well, it does. There's other things too, but yeah, evocation is mostly like casting fireball and things of that nature. So it is a bit of a volatile place to be, but they do manage to keep things pretty well under wraps. Well, except for
That one
well,
thing. So she walks confidently towards the cafeteria, having known where it is from last time.
There is a cafeteria. People are eating in here. It looks pretty normal. Food's floating out of there. It looks pretty tasty, and everyone's just talking, having a really nice time. There's probably there's got to be at least 200 students and faculty, and we're just people, like academic types of all ages, hanging out in this space.
Is it absolutely packed, or are there some empty tables?
There's still some empty seats and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that any table. It's mostly long tables and then some circular, some long tables in the center and then circular tables that kind of surround it around the outside. So you're typically sometimes sharing, at least some table space with some other people, but you have enough room to sit on your own, not necessarily bothering anyone else.
Okay. Boris is looking for a table that's as far away from the service window, or reasonably far from the service window. In fact, she was here last time, so approximately where the explosion looked like it ended, away from the service window. And she's trying to find a table that theoretically, if she needed to, she could, pull up as a barricade as an explosion was happening.
Yes, so you are sitting an explosion's length away from the from the service window.
Yep, and just observing. That's
yeah.
where we're gonna leave her.
The food is just kind of floating on out of there. Are you ordering anything for yourself? Are you hungry after seeing all this food just floating out in front of people? I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, you know what? Boris knows everyone else well enough to know that they probably expect her to be here, so she preemptively orders a plate full of peanut butter cups.
Okay. A plate full of peanut butter cups after about, we'll say 5 minutes, floats out of the kitchen window and is sat right down in front of you. And now the teleporter brings the rest of you guys, after it was about 5 minutes in Mildred's office, down to the 15th floor.
Okay.
So Boris is in the cafeteria, dressed as a student. Where are the rest of you? You are in the teleportation circle currently. Are you making just a beeline for the cafeteria yourselves? I'm assuming?
Jarrell would go there pretty quickly, yeah.
Okay. Rest of you follow, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
You walk into the cafeteria. As you're walking into the cafeteria, you can see a plate of peanut butter cups floating to a table in the back, very far away. In fact, as far away as possible from the service window.
Right.
Pregnard, you notice it first. It's exactly what you it's exactly what you wanted, floating in the air towards a table.
Oh, I want those. I'm going to follow those and narrate everything that I'm doing. I'm walking towards them. I'm salivating more than usual.
So you're all hearing Pregnard literally narrating his thoughts out loud as he's like, as soon as you walk into the cafeteria, he's like, and I'm walking to the thing, and I'm gonna do this, and like you're just watching him do it.
Yeah, that's fine. Jarrell lets him go and enjoy his peanut butter cups. And Jarrell walks towards the service window and just pretends like he's kind of like looking around and admiring how wonderful the cafeteria is. But he's putting himself between what might be the blast and the students as he tries to think of a plan to get in there.
Interesting. Okay.
Edric's gonna follow with Javrel, at least trying to act as if, like, maybe if nothing else, Hedrick is a follower or some sort of servant of Javrel's, because he naturally looks like radiant in his armor, and I'm still just a musician, so I still have sort of
you know,
like a
he
look
did
to
have
it.
a retainer at one point.
Yeah, so that's where I'm trying to lean, where at least it makes sense that I would be next to him, and
makes sense.
and maybe I am like taking notes with him, or
What about you, Quinn? Are you going the Pregnard direction, or are you going the Jarrell direction?
I'm torn here I'm certainly not going. If I'm following Jarrell, I'm certainly not going to act like his retainer. That is
which you can see that Hedrick is clearly leaning into.
right. Like, so that's where, like, I'm trying to think of how Quinn would kind of do the opposite of that. So I think what he does is he kind of like fluffs his jacket a little bit. He like pops his collar a little bit. I don't know. He does something that I'm trying to think of, like, what he would do. So he walks up.
You're literally just trying to make yourself look important.
You're peacocking.
This is what Quinn does. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. So he makes sure that he's always like a step ahead of Jarrell. So even though Jarrell is technically leading us in a direction, I'm just like,
God. you're exaggeratedly walking.
I'm meta
ahead
following
of
him.
him.
Yeah, I'm making sure that I'm constantly like one iota
I
step.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Okay, perfect.
I know I'm following Jarrell, but
I have it
don't
as
want people
noted.
to think that I'm following.
I have it as
Jarrell.
noted that you are standing directly next to Jarrell and are trying to anticipate his movements before he makes them.
Mhm.
Okay, Pregnard, you make it to the table in which these peanut butter cups have sat down, and I mean, Boris, you're in a pretty decent disguise, but at the same time, it's not like you made any effort to like make yourself look more like any more different than yourself, right? You haven't like
I look like Boris the student. I still
Right.
look like Boris.
So you see Boris is sitting there with this plate of peanut butter cups in front of her.
Okay. Pregnant inspects the peanut butter cups for any messages.
No, when you say that, what do you mean by that?
Because the plan is to order some sort of confection from the kitchen that has a message for Ebenezer Jr.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you believe that is what the plan is. So, like, what I'm saying is, when you say you are inspecting them for a message, are you like literally like grabbing handfuls of them and like breaking them open, or like what are you doing?
He just takes a cursory glance at the top of the tray.
Oh, okay. Well, then no, they don't appear to be arranged, and they're just arranged in a pile, a nice, neat pile.
All right.
It's a little less neat. Boris has definitely already eaten a peanut butter cup if they've been on the table for more than half a second.
There you go.
Boris, we need to do the plan. We need to put a message. We need to say a message to the kitchen that says, Dear Ebenezer Jr., we are your friends and we believe in what you're doing and we want to talk to you very bad. So, let's all get together.
Can someone, okay, a listener or someone, like anyone artistically inclined out there, some super fan, can someone like just like Photoshop that onto like a cake for me, please? Like that entire thing, that whole
All
thing, that
those
whole paragraph.
words.
Can someone like give me a picture of that, please? I need it in my life, like now. Thank you.
So,
And so
Boris's
is that
mouth now
thought-
has like
is
3.
Because I thought that, is that the order now?
Well, you thought that, but did you like? Were you like? But you were talking out loud to Boris. Like, did you actually think that?
That wasn't no. The purpose of that statement was to clarify what we should put on the cake.
You were
with
clarifying
Boris.
that for
was
Boris,
yes.
not actually think like because like you have to be intentionally thinking that this is what I want for it to be sent to the kitchen.
Right. No. I was asking Boris if about
Just still a
I was-
heady
I was
concept.
ask-
Don't get me
yes.
wrong, but
I was asking to clarify the concept.
yes, I'm not gonna be a dick. There's plenty of ways for me to be a dick here that I just like there's so many opportunities for you guys to just naturally fuck this up that I don't need to add more ways for that to happen.
So Boris has like 3 peanut butter cups in her mouth by the time she's answering the question, because it took 2 peanut butter cups to ask it, and says, "Well, it's gonna be a really big cake, Fragart."
I mean, it has to be under a cubic foot, I think, so they could just write small. They're doing it with magic. They could do it.
Meanwhile, by the food service window, what are you guys doing? Jarrell.
Now
Quinn,
there is
and
there
Hedwig.
is a window, correct?
I mean, yes, like the food is floating out from somewhere.
We're looking in the
There's
window.
like a hood over it, right? Like you can like look in, you can see there's like students working in there. There's a, what appears to be some sort of like head chef person instructing and like moving around to the different like prep stations, like inspecting everything. And then like there's that finishing station I had mentioned, right, where you can see Filbert. Kind of he almost looks like he's just bored or like kind of half engaged with like what he's doing, but he's like waving his wand, but you can see literally in his other hand while he is preparing or like finishing food is like reading a book. Like he has a book in his hand that he's like reading and he's like waving his wand. And like you can see like some of the meals that are starting to like just take shape from the ingredients that are floating over to him from some of the other stations. Like it's all just it seems like to be like this assembly line of ingredients that are then being assembled by some sort of magic with whatever Filbert is currently doing. And you can see the chef actually yell at Filbert and be like, "Filbert, what did I tell you about paying attention? This is a very delicate spell that you are casting right now. Do you want to send out raw fucking chicken to a student? Because that's how you do it,
Sounds
by
like a
not
kitchen.
paying attention." And Filbert's like, yeah, just sorry. I didn't want you see him like muttering to himself, but you can't hear what he says, and he just like puts it away. And then like you see the chef like peek down and like look in the window, and you staring at the food being made is not going to make it be made faster. Take your seat and wait for your food to be delivered. The students are working as hard as they can.
I'm not expecting the food to come faster at all. I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing. I've never seen a cafeteria like this before.
Well, we have tours that are scheduled at very specific times during the week. For right now, you need to let us work and move away from the window.
Oh, where can I find the times for these tours? And Jarrell's just trying to like be a distraction at this point.
And Filbert then turns around to you. He's like, "Just go down to the information booth on the first floor and ask somebody there. Like it's like we're working, man." And he's like, "Oh shit!" And you can see like his wand start to like fizzle,
Mhm.
and like this like now suddenly this like all of the ingredients start like that are like floating in there that are kind of like queuing up as for like the different like orders that are being thought up are now like all starting to like amalgamate with each other.
Yep. Jarrell looks at Quinn and at Phil, Hedrick, and raises his shield up.
Trick will try to give notice to it first. It's, hey, watch it. Stop that. What's happening there?
The chef just says, please back away. Do not distract the students. Okay, everybody, we have a code slap. We have a code slap. Everybody, get your wands out. We need to stop this right now. Filbert, back away. Put your wand down.
Quinn.
Filbert's like, no, I can fix this. Don't worry. I got this. If everyone would just stop talking, I could focus.
Jarrell puts his hand on Quinn to not do any magic yet. Because we're not supposed to do any magic.
No. What I was going to say is Quinn, who's been trying to be a half a step ahead of Jarrell, is now slowly going a half a step behind Jarrell.
Boris, not seeing any of this happening at the window and kind of trying to compact what Pregnart has asked for, is thinking in her head a pie full of dynamite right now.
Of course she is.
Why?
What?
Because it's Boris and she wants everyone to explode.
You know, compact way of letting them know there's going to be an explosion. I just
Yeah,
short
that's
formed the
genius.
Well, the thing said within reason. So
Right.
that is probably a request that would just be rejected by whatever,
Yes.
enchantment is allowing you to do these things,
Yeah, they're
right?
not gonna
Because
counter dynamite in the kitchen.
Pregnart got yelled at by a different chef for trying to essentially get a life-size
Mhm.
like ice cream sundae or something like that, like a gigantic ice cream
Boat-sized.
sundae. Boat size, that's the one.
Any ice
Yeah,
cream
so-
sundae is a life-sized ice cream sundae.
You're right. You're right. Excuse me. Poor choice of words. Yikes. Anyways.
So Jarrell knows that the three of us nearest the window, Hedrick and Quinn, are, because of Jarrell's amazing power, pretty safe from any spells that could cause us damage right now. I'm hoping that being in the way of the blast will also protect some of the students with my shield. If it does pop off still.
Well, I mean, you saw the aftermath of the explosion that happened here the first time, and I mean, listen, I'm not doubting the awesome power of your shield, but I mean, do you really think that just your shield is really going to be enough?
No, I'm thinking that his amazing auras are.
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay. Let's wait. I guess. Well, that Jarrell's putting. That's where Jarrell is putting his money. Meanwhile, there is chaos happening in the kitchen. You have been asked to back away.
Jarrell will
from the
back up a
window
little bit
and
from
stop
the window.
distracting the
Yeah.
students.
Yeah, no, if they
who are now
think
in
they
a
can handle
code
it.
slop.
Right.
Hedrick will want to warn the students. Everybody,
Okay, what do you do?
something's going on in the kitchen. I'm going to have to ask you to back up. Get up from the tables. We need you to move back at least 50.
How are you? Like,
100 feet.
are you just projecting your voice normally?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to use any magic, but
Right. So
I have a feeling-
some students who are like sitting by you, like could hear some of what's happening in the window too. And yeah, some of them are starting to get up from their chairs now as they hear code slop being called. And now you could now Boris and Pregnart, you're starting to see towards the front, like the cafeteria, like where some of the near where the window is, like people are starting to get up from their chairs and now start moving towards the exits.
Boris follows through on her initial plan when she came into the room then and flips the table over and hides behind it like a barricade.
The peanut butter cups go flying into the air.
Damn it! Oh, I should have moved those first.
Pregnart goes through on his initial plan and thinks of an order that gets sent to the kitchen. That is a cake.
I need you to tell me, word for word, in Pregnart's internal monologue voice, what, or just whatever whatever is happening, whether it's his deep internal monologue or his surface level thoughts. What is Pregnart thinking about? Like, what does this cake say, and what is on it?
Dear Ebenezer Jr., we really like you. We really want to talk to you, and we really believe in you. Love, your friends.
Perfect. Very specific. Super helpful. Instead, what happens is now in the kitchen, a bunch of cake frosting, icing, flour, eggs, like all of the components to this cake are now flying up into the air and now also amalgamating with this gigantic ball of food that is like forming in the kitchen, because now all of the orders are just combining into just one gigantic mass of food. You don't see that. Jarrell and Quinn might see it from where they're standing. Just because now it's starting to become a little too large, and like there's like chaos in the kitchen because like the chef looks concerned. Like Filbert is like still like desperately pleading for him to just like try to fix it, but everyone there's like it's like everyone is shouting over each other. Like if you've ever been into in a kitchen that is out of sync, like if you've ever worked in a kitchen before and have like been there when like
the chaos,
everything, yes, when like that's it, like like something got fucked up somewhere along the line and now it's absolute chaos. No one knows what's going on, no one knows what they're doing. It is an absolute hell. And that's the scene that's unfolding in here, except with a gigantic magical ball of food that's forming instead of like, orders being behind and out of order or whatever is happening in other problems you see in a kitchen. So I just want to, because that might be relatable for some people listening to this show, you know what I mean? So I just want to like make sure that I paint the picture a little bit more for those who may understand the experience. And I mean, it gets to a point where, because of the fact that there's all these competing voices and all this stuff happening, a lot of the students have shuffled out now of the cafeteria, but some of the ones towards the back, it's like sort of like a wave, right? Where it's like as people are starting to get up from their chairs, like there's other people like, hey, what the fuck's going on? Like, why is everybody getting up? Why is everybody leaving? And they can see Hedrick is like, like pointing towards the doors and being like, get the fuck out, everybody! Like something's going on.
As like the tables move, I'm assuming that the ones closest to us are the first to leave.
Yes.
It's like as the last student is there, I'm gonna walk with the group, so like the last person there.
So you're backing up from the kitchen and sort of just essentially like essentially being that front line between the students and the kitchen. Okay, no, very admirable, Jarrell.
Yep.
And Quinn is obviously behind you. Not
one step ahead of me.
Very much so. He's got the metal armor.
As some of the last students are starting to like get up and file out, you can start to see a bunch of some of the students who were in the kitchen are now exiting from the kitchen. And moments later, just I mean, a massive concussive blast blows out the side of the cafeteria wall that that finishing station was behind.
Yep.
Yeah. Food, chunks of stone, like everything just shoot out into a rush, and I mean make it all the way to the far wall. I mean just smash against the wall. Food is spraying everywhere. There is frosting and condiments and like half-cooked and burnt meats. There are it's just everything like charred vegetables, like soggy vegetable, like everything is just like it just flies out of the kitchen and just sprays all over the cafeteria.
It's better than
do we have to make a check or anything?
Yes, the three of Boris and Pregnart are far enough back and probably would have been moving with everybody else.
It's hiding behind my table barricade, but I had at least plywood wall in front of me at minimum, and probably real wood wall in reality.
I think you'd be fine, but I think I'd like the other four of you then, beside from, I mean, I guess Pregnart would be fine too, because he's behind the table, you were sitting together. Yeah. Pregnart, Jarrell, Quinn, and Hedrick. Why don't we do a dexterity saving throw, please?
Okay, so we get these at advantage, and we add my charisma modifier.
Oh, so I already have advantage. I was going to ask if I had advantage because I was already behind you.
You might get partial cover to your AC.
All right, so I got a 19, and you guys get to add 4 on top of whatever you rolled at advantage.
27.
Okay.
26.
26. Yeah, all great. Yeah, all great. That's fine. I mean, you guys managed to sidestep or like, any large debris that would have blown out from the wall. But like now it's just sort of like, there's like a lot of dust that's been kicked up into the air. Like it's kind of smoky in here. Like there's like actually like some small fires just from like the charred food that's like burning in here. Some of the that are like on some of the tables and whatnot.
The staff, the teacher, and Filbert. Do I see them?
No, it's like from where the explosion happened in the window. Like it's all just smoke.
Jarrell will utilize Aura of Vitality, or what is it? Aura of Life.
Okay.
So it's a 10-minute, 30-foot radius around me that brings any creature at 0 to 1 HP.
Interesting.
It's a 4th level spell.
You can feel like it's done. You feel like it's done something when you cast it.
Okay.
But you're just not entirely sure what it's, who it's affected.
Right. So I'm trying to just kind of make my way through and make sure that everybody who would have been in that area is now affected by my radius. And then I also might as well use my Turn the Tide to heal them a little bit too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hit points are like any hit points for anybody who would be in that radius. Hit points would have been replenished, but
so they go from just exploded to feeling fine.
Well, kinda. They probably still feel like shit in that their bodies were just rocked by a fucking explosion, and they were briefly like unconscious or almost dead, or maybe. I mean, the thing is, like, if anyone was killed outright by that, you'd have to like revivify them if there was a body that left.
Well, if they go to 0,
0 is different than going negative
Yes.
something, right?
Yes.
If you go negative max, you're dead.
And I can't
dead.
see anybody who's still dead.
Well, you can't see anybody, period,
Because of the
besides
smoke.
the
Right,
people
right.
standing next to you. Right. You can hear some coughing happening from the back. That's all you can hear. It's like an explosion just happened. There's fire.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
smoke. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Yeah.
see anything really. It's not long though. Like, I mean, it feels like a while because right, the initial shock of the blast, like your ears are ringing a little bit, right? You can hear some people coughing. There's like, most of the students got out. There's people screaming in the hallway now because they heard the explosion. It doesn't take long before some prefects and teachers and hall monitors start rushing in to see what the heck's going on. And then as soon as they see the smoke and the fire, like they start calling for help. And they see that you're all standing there, like, they're like, are you okay? No, please exit. Like something terrible has happened here. Like you need to leave and get to safety.
Jarrell just nods.
If you're injured, we'll take you to the infirmaries. Otherwise, you need to make your way out of the cafeteria. We need everybody out so that we can assess what's going on here and look and help who needs to be helped.
So Jarrell nods and does add, if you need any help, again, I am a good healer, but we will leave this to you. And Jarrell walks out of the cafeteria.
Okay, so you guys evacuate. Does everybody evacuates when ordered to do so?
No, Boris dives into the smoke hole.
Make me a stealth check, Boris. First, you're gonna make me 2 checks here.
30.
30's great. Now make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oof. Nat 20.
Wow. Boris the
Make a
hero.
frosting mask.
Born to be a firefighter, apparently.
God damn, yeah. So like you managed to wrap something around your stuff, or like you managed to configure something so that you're able to kind of battle away most of like the smoke, right? And like you're trying to kind of stick low to the ground, and you're just like trying to essentially crawl your way into the kitchen or kind of below the smoke line.
Yes, and I'm using blind sense to try to figure out where any people that are in there are, and I'm specifically trying to find Filbert. I really don't care about anybody else. That's like
Filbert's
dying
the
of
first
smoke
person you
inhalation.
come
No, that's
across.
Perfect. I
Filbert's-
start dragging him out.
He is unconscious, but he seems to be okay. Like you can see like some spots where like his skin might have been burnt, but it's already sort of been healed. But he's unconscious, but breathing. So you're dragging him out?
Yeah, I'm dragging him out in the direction of like where the prefects are.
They see you and they're like, oh my goodness. And like, they like, come and like one of them grabs you and like, kind of, puts you under their arm. Right. And like, they're like, and some of the other, you have other two people like who grab Filbert and they load him onto a stretcher and they pull him out of the, cafeteria.
Boris immediately makes a big teary show and goes, I'm not leaving him, and tries to like dive after him.
Yeah, sure. You managed to like, I mean, because you're slippery enough. Like, I really love this scene, so we're just letting it happen here. Yeah, you rush after Filbert. You like throw yourself like towards the stretcher he's on, and they're like, oh, just let her go with him. Okay,
we're really going with the he's all that. He's all that.
You're coming with us to the infirmary. Then we got to get him to the 14th floor immediately.
Okay.
Okay. So now that you see as y'all evacuate, you see Boris now like almost like a crying widow, like looking over Filbert and like following them to the teleporter area.
Boris sticks out her tongue at Pragnar briefly when she's passing him if nobody else is looking.
Pragnar gives her a blank stare with eyes going in different directions.
As he does. And that is where we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Oh, man.
Hey, you out there listening to us out there in the world somewhere. If you like us, you can find us on the internet. Such places as Twitter and Instagram, look for @HaplessHeroes. We're also on Facebook and Reddit, look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. But really, the place that we're actually hanging out, the place that we encourage you to engage with us on the most, aside from Twitter, where we, are kind of doing more stuff now, is our Discord server, where you can talk to us, have a conversation with other people in this amazing community that we've built over the years. I mean, we've got over 100 people in there now. Like it just keeps climbing and climbing. And it's a wonderful thing to see like conversations popping off without us even, like people giving each other advice on like, hey, we have first time DMs who are like, looking for advice, like where we got people talking about their own games, talking about character concepts they have, sharing pictures of food, their cats or dogs or other, amazing things going on in their lives. It's awesome. We encourage you to be a part of that community. And yeah, we hope to see you there. But if you really, really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. Those things help us get more people to listen to this amazing show. And we also just love reading your kind words. And, hey, if you say some nice things about us, we'll shout you out too. And we'll say some nice things about you. In fact, we have another review. We have a 5-star channel in our Discord if your podcast service doesn't offer you one. And we have somebody who left us one just recently. JVost, UG3, writes to us, after listening to and catching up on Critical Role, NADPOD, Dimension 20, and Dungeons and Daddies, which are all very successful D&D podcasts. I'm just going to say that right now, okay? They're like, I needed something else to listen to. So I was browsing and came across them, and they said that they had 5 years of backlog, and I knew I needed to check it out. That's usually pretty intimidating, so that's really nice to hear. And I'm only 18 episodes in, right? But I would put it on the same pedestal as all those big name D&D actual play podcasts because the jokes, the story, the characters, and the combat is A1. I am never bored with the storytelling and all of the zany roleplay. My favorite character so far is Hoblet the Smasher. Yeah, that seems to be everybody's favorite character, especially at the start of the show. Well, Jay Vos, man, if you make it to here, because like you said you were on episode 18 when you wrote this review to us. Like obviously this is episode 200 and something. We hope you made it here. We hope you enjoyed the ride. We hope you're still enjoying the ride. Thank you so much for your kind words. You rock. You're a 5-star human. Now, if you really, really, really like us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. We got a whole bunch of stuff on there. We're trying to find more ways to engage and, add new rewards. We even have a special channel in our Discord server you get access to with a little shiny roll you get to set yourself apart from all of the other just as awesome people in our Discord server, but just to kind of show that little extra thing to show your support to us. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us, replace our aging equipment, or cover, hosting costs. Like, it just goes back into making this show for you and keeping it ad free. So we, really appreciate all the support we've gotten over the years. You guys rock.
And if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal, go to your supermarket and go to the beefsteak tomatoes and just start taking one tomato at a time, just putting them under the old armpit and smashing them up into a good tomato crushing paste, and they'll try to interrupt that, and you have to say, no, this is the way I was taught to make the old-fashioned tomato sauce by my favorite podcast, the Hapless Heroes podcast, an original D&D campaign. Don't stop me from making my tomato sauce. I have to finish.
Doable. That was doable.
It certainly is. Well, the drill. I guess there's nothing left for me to do besides now outro my lovely cast for you, starting on my virtual right, this time with John as Lord Gerald the Light.
Until next time.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quint Southwind.
Thank God I have my trusty savior next to me.
Zach as Pregnart.
I kind of still wanted that cake. I'm pretty bummed.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
I think there's a little bit left on the ceiling.
And Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Hang on, my darling Filbert, just hang on.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. Tune in next week where maybe we're on to He's All That. We'll see. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.